Deep in the heart of winter, a soft cooing rang from the treetops. A girl lay fast asleep, warm and cozy in her bed, dreaming of a snowy white owl. As the sun came up over the horizon, the small girl stretched her arms high above her head and leapt out of bed. She went to her window and saw a beautifully sunny day with a brilliant blue sky. The snow crystals glinted like diamonds in the sunlight. She looked to the treetops to see if anything was there, but all she saw were snow-covered trees. She quickly dressed in her warm winter clothes and headed out to the trail in the forest to see if the snowy owl she had dreamt of was really there. As she wandered through the woods, the girl listened carefully to see if she could hear the cooing of the owl. As she waited, all she heard was the crunch of the snow beneath her feet. The forest was eerily quiet, as if all the animals had left during the cold winter months. She thought she might give up and just go home to warm herself by the fire. As she turned to walk towards home, she heard a whoosh, whoosh gliding over her head. She looked around her but saw nothing. It must be my imagination, she thought. As she turned to keep walking, there in the path in front of her was the snowy white owl. She gasped in amazement. It wasn't her imagination or her dreams. The snowy owl did live in these woods. She stood perfectly still, hoping the owl would stay for a moment so she could see all of its beautiful features. The owl started to move slightly, and she feared it would fly off into the woods. Instead, it began to speak. I am the snowy white owl, and I have come to teach you the secrets of the forest. She stood frozen in place, amazed that words were coming from the owl's beak. But how can you teach me all there is to know about the forest? The girl asked in disbelief. The owl crouched towards the ground and spread its wings wide apart. Climb upon my wings, and we will soar through the forest together. You have to see it, hear it, and feel it to really understand it. The girl carefully climbed upon the owl's back and held tight to her powerful wings. Within moments, the girl and the owl were in flight, gliding high above the forested lands. As they soared above the earth, the girl witnessed magical sights in the forest she never knew existed. She looked down in awe as she saw several deer nestled snug in the hillside, warmed by the winter sun and each other's bodies. The owl said, "It's hard for me to breathe on these. Deer grow a hollow coat of hair in winter to keep warm and live in small groups to protect themselves from the cold and other animals. They browse the branches of the trees so they have enough food during the winter months." The owl and the girl then spotted a bobcat stalking a deer several miles from where their journey began. The bobcat hunts all winter and travels far and wide to find a bigger meal to help them make it through these harder months. "A bobcat can hunt a deer?" the girl exclaimed. The girl's face was growing colder with the chilly wind upon it, but she wanted to see more of the magic within this forest. "Look," the owl said, and pointed her wing toward a dark hole in the mountain. "That is the den of a mother bear who is sleeping most of the winter away so she doesn't have to find food. She will lose half of her weight this winter and give birth to 1 or 2 cubs in the spring without eating at all." "Wow," the girl said in amazement. "She must really be strong to do all that work without food." Next, they saw several lines crossing the top of the snow in all directions. "What are those?" the girl asked. "They're the tunnels of mice and voles that live beneath the crust of the snow for warmth and to find food." Then high in a tree, the girl spotted the unmistakable quills of a porcupine. He was gnawing on the bark and balancing on the branch of the tree. "Why is he way up here?" the girl asked, thinking it funny that a porcupine would be in a tree instead of a den. The male porcupines survive in winter by living in the trees and using the bark for food. They also grow a warmer coat to protect them from these chilly days. The owl turned its head around to look back at the small girl riding on her back. She noticed her cheeks were as red as roses, and she decided to turn back towards her home. Please don't go back. I want to see more. The owl replied, you can see more anytime you want. Visit the forest every day, and you will know it well. The secrets within the forest are everywhere. You just have to look closely and listen carefully. Can't breathe. The girl got back home and shared all her newfound knowledge about the forest with her mom and dad. Both looked at her in awe and questioned, how do you know so much about the forest? The little girl replied, I saw it, heard it, and felt it.
I saw it.
Very good.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be a series. You can keep going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a series.